In this part of the video, I'd like to explain the underlying theoretical model for this War for Singapore program. Firstly, you will find that I would start with the concepts, then experiencing, and finally concretization for the application of art of war. Now, the key problem in art of war is always the application. Then you'll find there is an added loop, visualizing and imagination. I find through my many years of teaching art of war that it is important to learn art of war from a war perspective. Sun Tzu wrote the book Art of War. It was grounded on the basis of a warfare. So if you start with that, then I think your understanding of art of war will be deep and profound, and also you'll be able to develop from that foundation. And for the stage 1, the concept part, I'll be using a set of 156 concepts embedded in the art of war as the primary basis, but I'll find out some of the key ideas that may well be relevant in the context of Singapore. The program is grounded on Singapore. Why? Because we need to have a conceptual grounding rather than just purely be on theory. And for that reason alone, we will then from there proceed after this the discussion of the key concepts to visit outdoor, visiting the sites. Or we could do the site visiting on the internet, calling e-visit. E-visit to see and understand the context that we are discussing about. So that is important. That experiential experience part cannot be left out in order to make it grounded. If it is an outdoor visit, the occasion can be a good one for fostering a bonding. I think nothing better to bond Singaporeans than to ask among Singaporeans, how would you defend Singapore? You know, the Japanese came and conquered. The British lost that war. Is it possible for us to outthink the British and through the process build a bonding through strategic thinking, to join a changing of ideas? This has not been done before, and I think it will be a useful program to foster bonding. How would you then apply strategic thinking to your company, especially in terms of meeting fierce competition in the marketplace? Now, the third phase is what I call the concretization phase, meaning to say that you have to say and ask yourself, I'm going to apply this strategy from Sun Tzu. Now, can I look at the specific context in which this strategy is to be applied? What are we facing as competitors? And that will foster in you, when you apply Sun Tzu art of war strategy to your company, you will also adopt a concrete approach. Concretization is something that is to put a reality test to your ideas. In other words, will your strategy work? And for this purpose of this program, we actually take the art of war into the context of War for Singapore. And the parameters of the setting, we will then extract it from historical basis. But the whole idea is to understand that there's a need for you to also translate strategic concepts into application in the context of what Sun Tzu have written, The Art of War, for warfare situation. Training is an inner process of change. It is important to recognize this as an aspect of training. And if this program is part of the diploma program, then the whole idea will be therefore to submit a report and of how you would then formulate a strategy that could reverse history, meaning to say that there will not be, the Japanese will not win, and that you're able to defend Singapore in the war for Singapore. But the important part, of course, is that there is the other component, the visualization, imagination, that I did not discuss at all. The reason for this is that this is also another important aspect in strategy making. In other words, is to be able to visualize the competition. Now you will find the two words, keywords there, visualizing, and the other one is imagination. Now what you see there on portrayed there is really the Japanese Imperial Army, how they fight, efficiency and operation, so that you have clearly ability to visualize, because Singapore was lost simply to 10,000 Japanese Imperial Army over British defense of up to 150,000 soldiers. Now the key word really in competition is imagination. The ability to see in the mind's eye what is going to evolve given a particular set of parameters.